Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As a PC gamer and enthusiast and PC based YouTuber, one of the things that really annoys me most is hearing about how expensive it can be to get into PC gaming. And while that can be true of pretty much any hobby you look at. You can always make something expensive. It can be a little bit more difficult to make the entry cost of getting into PC gaming cheaper than something like a console, but there are ways to get a gaming PC up and running for relatively cheaply, and I want to talk about the way that I like to use personally because I've been building and selling some of these rigs, and I really like this process because it's very straightforward, very simple, and pretty much anybody can do it. So a PC is just several different parts that are put together within a chassis to make a complete system. And we're talking about motherboard, RAM, CPU, some sort of storage. Usually there's a case, but you don't necessarily have to have a case, but I would highly recommend one. And then a power supply. So the best way to get up and running cheaply is to get pretty much as many of these components in one place as possible for as cheaply as possible. And the way that I've been getting pre-built systems really cheaply is through the my ever favorite Dell Optiplexes on eBay. You can find these things with i5s, 8GB of RAM, and often with a 500GB storage for a little bit over $100 usually. This one over my shoulder here that's actually downloading Fortnite right now because I'm trying to sell it and I need to do some testing on it for a potential buyer. That system cost me $80 plus $30 in shipping. So we're talking about $110. And this system came with 8GB of RAM and a 500GB hard drive. And that machine was fully functional from the get-go. I could have used it as a web surfing device, but to make it a gaming PC, it still was missing one key component. And that, of course, is a graphics card. Now, this particular graphics card is a GTX 1060 3GB version. And the nice thing about it is how small it is. And that's really important for these Dell Optiplexes and a lot of these pre-built machines, because it has to be short. If this card was much longer, it would actually interfere with several of the SATA ports on the motherboard for this particular Optiplex, as well as a USB 3.0 header. Now, an easier route than a 1060 like this, because this does require a 6-pin PCIe connector. An even easier route is a GTX 1050 Ti, one of the mini ones, because it's a little bit shorter even than this thing, but it also requires no external power from a PCIe plug. It draws all of its power directly from the motherboard, which means it's really just down to popping it in the case and powering everything on and letting the drivers automatically install over an internet connection, and really you're done. So this particular card, this 1060 3GB card, cost me an additional $159.50, I believe, after shipping. So sub $160. Add that to a $110 base PC, and we're talking about roughly $270. Now, I do understand that a lot of people are not purely happy with hard drive space for their games, or even just for booting the system in general, because things do end up being a little bit sluggish. And besides, when you're getting these used hard drives from systems, they tend to be a little bit slower because they have been sort of through the ringer anyways. They may even be on their last legs. It's really hard to tell when you buy them. But you can right now pick up 480GB SSDs for $72, $73 all day long on Amazon. So there are great valued SSDs out there that will get you the majority of the performance that even higher end SSDs would get you. This will get you most of the way to those higher end SSDs for a very consumer friendly price at just $72, $73, $74, maybe even $75, but these are very cheap. There are several different options on Amazon or even Newegg where you can get these types of SSDs very cheaply. And if you add that to the existing hard drive, then you then have 1 terabyte of storage for this PC, and you're only raising your price from about $270 to about $340 or $350, and you have yourself a really robust gaming PC for 2018. You're rocking a quad-core i5 3470 in my case, though again, specs may vary depending on when you're watching this video and which pre-built systems may be cheap in your area and what you can get a hold of course. But you're also rocking a GTX 1060, so if you're gaming at 1080p, you're going to be great to go, especially if you're really just looking to get into more esports-like titles like your Rocket Leagues, your Fortnites, your CSGOs, and your PUBGs. Those games will all run like a dream on this system, and it's all quite cheap. And as a PC enthusiast, building these cheap rigs is really, really entertaining for me, but also rewarding, because I know that I'm putting together a system for roughly a console budget that'll actually end up getting you a much better experience, especially once you factor in things like not paying for online play and getting games cheaper through Steam sales, or even if you want to explore some of those other websites that sell Steam keys. Those can also be a great option for saving money, but it gets people on the PC platform for an extremely cheap cost. And that, as a PC enthusiast, is what I like to see, because the PC platform, while it does have its flaws, is by far the most consumer-friendly platform out there right now. So that's a quick overview of how I think pretty much anybody that is willing to do a little bit of research and willing to do a little bit of hands-on work themselves is able to put together a very cost-effective PC for themselves, or for somebody near and dear to them that they can get up in gaming and have a great experience with. So if you like this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let us know down below, because I always do like to kick it back to you. Have you built a used PC, especially that has sort of utilized some of these methods, or maybe you have your own methods for coming up with very budget-friendly PCs? Let us know those methods down below. And of course, if you want to follow me, you can do that on Twitter and on Instagram at Hoosier Hardware. They are the same tag for your convenience. And as always, I'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos around me from my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.